Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Jared. Welcome everyone to Vibrations and Manifestations.
So today we're tackling something pretty fascinating, um, maybe a bit elusive. It's this concept of luck.
Ah, yes, luck. Something everyone seems to experience, or, well, think about, anyway.
Exactly. And we're looking into whether it's just, random chance stuff happening, or if maybe there's something more to it.
Like an internal thing, an alignment, maybe?
Yeah, or like a frequency, some kind of personal vibe algorithm almost, that influences whether we get good fortune or, well, the opposite.
That's the big question, isn't it? Can we unconsciously line ourselves up with good things, or, push them away? Is there a pattern we can actually work with?
We all know that contrast, right? Like that person who just seems to glide through everything.
Mm-hmm. Wins raffles, finds 20 bucks on the street, bumps into the perfect person at just the right moment.
Yeah, they just seem lucky, you know?
And then you've got the other side of the coin, someone who feels like, life is just a series of small annoyances.
Oh, totally. Stubbed toes, the Wi-Fi always drops, coffee spills right before the big meeting.
Constant near misses. It's easy to feel like you're just wired for bad luck.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Is
Yeah.
luck just some cosmic lottery? Or is it more about maybe how our inner world interacts with the outer world?
We're going to unpack that, looking at different angles, spiritual ideas, manifestation teachings, but also neuroscience, psychology.
See what they all suggest about how we might step into more of that synchronicity, that feeling of flow.
And often it's our own experiences, the good and the bad, that kind of give us the first clues, don't they?
Absolutely. I had this time, it really felt like I'd accidentally tuned into that things just work out for me station you mentioned.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Well, I had this meeting lined up, right? And I was seriously nervous, like pitching an idea to someone I really respected, but who, honestly, I fully expected to just politely decline,
Right, so you were kind of bracing for the usual letdown.
Totally. That's my go-to. Mentally rehearses every possible way it could go wrong. Prepare for impact.
Which is a way to prepare, sure, but maybe it also sets an expectation, a sort of negative one.
Exactly. But that morning, for some reason, it was just different. I woke up feeling weirdly light, not obsessing about rejection, just kind of present.
Okay.
So walking to get coffee, running through my points, and I passed this huge mural, like massive, on a building wall, and it literally says, "It's your lucky day," in giant letters.
Wow, okay. That's pretty direct. Hard to miss.
Right. I laughed, took a photo, felt this little sort of nudge, and kept going. Then next thing, I'm at a crosswalk, and the light changes instantly. The second my foot hits the edge of the curb. Green. No, wait.
Just seamless.
Two little things, right? Small affirmations, maybe.
Yeah, signs that maybe things were flowing your way.
And it got even stranger. I get to the coffee shop, usually packed, peak time, line out the door. That day, empty, like totally empty. And the barista hands me my drink and just says, "On the house today, feeling generous."
No way. Free coffee, too.
3 things in like 10 minutes, all totally unexpected.
That's quite a convergence of small, positive details.
I know. So by the time I got to the meeting, I was already feeling a bit floaty.
Yeah.
And the person I was meeting, not just on time early, bubbling with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, they're leaning in saying, "I love this. How fast can we start? I'm in."
Wow. So it went from expecting a polite no to an immediate yes.
I basically floated home. It felt like the universe had just rolled out this invisible red carpet. But the weird thing was I hadn't done anything specific. No manifesting ritual, no high vibe plan. I think I just somehow let go of the usual resistance and accidentally hit that frequency where things just worked.
That's a great example of just falling into alignment.
And what's really intriguing is how this idea connects with some very specific claims out there. You find traditions, things like astrology or numerology, that point to certain times being naturally, well, luckier or more favorable.
And there was one date highlighted, wasn't there? A pretty bold claim, actually, that June 24th is seen by some as potentially the luckiest day of the whole year.
That specific claim, yeah. According to the astrological viewpoints discussed, it links strongly to Jupiter's influence on that particular day. Jupiter traditionally is the planet of, expansion, good fortune, abundance, all that positive stuff.
Okay.
So the idea is that Jupiter's specific alignment or position on June 24th creates this sort of supercharged energetic window, highly conducive, they say, to attracting good things. Not like a magic button, but more like The conditions are just really, really favorable.
Right, that makes sense. It's not guaranteeing a lottery win, but maybe making the underlying system or algorithm more receptive, more open to those positive inputs you might be sending out.
Precisely.
And thinking about that day, June 24th, the feeling it seems to capture isn't necessarily huge, life-changing events. It's more like those little moments of unexpected good stuff, right?
And
Finding a $5 bill, a stranger, giving you a really nice compliment out of the blue.
yeah, those small joys, those fortunate little coincidences. The suggestion is that a day like June 24th could potentially amplify the chances for those kinds of things happening.
Which brings us back to the core idea: if the universe is responding to our frequency.
Then it leads straight to this next thought.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're not just passively experiencing this algorithm. Maybe you can interact with it.
You mean consciously influence it? Like, could you actually influence your own luck? Can you sort of train your brain, train your frequency to become someone who naturally attracts those good opportunities? Maybe even leverage days like June 24th.
Well, that's the implication, isn't it? It
Wow.
shifts the whole conversation. Luck stops being this totally external thing that just happens to you and becomes something you might actively participate in shaping. Developing a certain mindset, a certain energetic state could potentially make you more of a magnet for those favorable circumstances.
Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever looked around and felt like, I don't know, some people just have this invisible cloak of good fortune?
Totally. Like they just effortlessly glide through life, finding the best parking spots, hitting all the green lights.
Yeah, exactly. And generally having things just seem to work out for them.
It's definitely a feeling most of us have probably had. You start wondering, is luck just this random lottery? Some people win, others, well, don't.
But what if the whole idea of luck, the very nature of it, isn't really about chance at all?
Ah, okay. Now that's the intriguing idea we're diving into today.
Right. This deep dive is all about exploring perspectives that suggest luck is less about external circumstances just happening to you.
And more about your internal state, your focus, your energy.
Yes. Basically like a frequency you can actually tune into.
So our mission here is to pull out the most important insights around this idea. That maybe your own mindset, your vibration, might be the main architect of your good fortune.
It's about understanding how you might actively influence those seemingly random good things that pop up in your life.
So let's start right there, challenging that core assumption. What if luck isn't some fluke, but actually a function of where you are internally, your mindset, your state of being, your frequency?
Well, there's actually research that points strongly this way, like the work by Professor Richard Wiseman. He studied people who literally called themselves lucky or unlucky.
Oh, I know his stuff.
Yeah.
His findings suggest our thoughts, and importantly, our behaviors are responsible for a huge chunk of our good or bad fortune.
It's fascinating because it just flips the whole script, doesn't it? It's not about being randomly blessed by the universe.
It's about how you're engaging with the world around you.
Yeah, like that famous experiment he did with the newspaper.
Oh, yeah, the one where he told people to count the pictures.
Exactly. And the people who thought they were lucky, they were way more likely to spot the big message saying, "Stop counting, tell the experimenter you saw this, and win 250 pounds.
Because they were just more relaxed and open,
Mm-hmm.
looking around, not just narrowly focused.
While the unlucky ones, so intent on counting every single picture, totally missed it, even though it was like right there in huge letters.
Right. So the core insight from Wiseman is pretty clear. Luck isn't just external chance. It's heavily influenced by what you actually notice and act on.
And that noticing is driven by your mindset.
Precisely. Which leads to this other cool idea,
Hmm.
that feeling lucky is itself a state you can, cultivate.
How so?
Well, you can deliberately recall times you felt lucky in the past, really bring that feeling into your body now, and start to intentionally shift your internal state.
Okay, that makes sense. So you cultivate the feeling, which kind of brings us to the idea of vibration and energy, doesn't it? This is something people like Abraham Hicks talk about a lot.
Exactly. From that perspective, luck is basically alignment. It's when your internal state, your energetic frequency, matches the frequency of what you desire, or maybe more accurately, what you expect.
And the flip side, bad luck, is seen as resistance. Like your internal state is out of sync with well-being or what you want.
The principle is basically that whatever frequency you're putting out there, based on your dominant thoughts and feelings, well, that's what the universe responds back with.
So if you're constantly expecting things to go wrong, you're kind of vibrating at that frequency.
And surprise, surprise,
Yeah.
your experience tends to confirm it.
Yeah. But if you can manage to shift your expectation, maybe anticipate good things, you start aligning with the possibility of them actually showing up.
Right. And there's even a technique mentioned for this, a rampage of appreciation.
A rampage. Sounds intense.
Huh. Well, it's about intentionally, maybe even aggressively,
Yeah.
focusing on things you appreciate to deliberately raise your frequency, tuning yourself up to what they call a luck level.
So like using gratitude as a really powerful tuning fork for your energy.
You got it.
Okay, so we have mindset, we have this energetic frequency. Now, how does the brain fit into all this? Because it feels like there has to be a biological component too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And this is where it gets really interesting, bridging that, let's say, energetic concept with hard science. Neuroscientists like Dr. Joe Dispenza talk about the brain as this incredible prediction machine.
A prediction machine. Okay, how does my brain predicting stuff make me lucky?
Well, think about it. Your brain has these really sophisticated systems that filter the insane amount of information hitting your senses every second. It filters based on your beliefs, your past experiences, what you're focusing on.
Right, like filtering out background noise.
Exactly, but it filters reality too. The reticular activating system, the RAS, is like your brain's personal bouncer at the door of your awareness.
Okay.
And here's the key insight. Your RAS actively looks for evidence out there in the world to confirm your dominant beliefs.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if you deeply, truly believe you're unlucky, your RAS is literally scanning your environment for problems, for frustrations, for proof that things go wrong for you. You actually see more of those things.
So you notice the one red light and ignore the 5 green ones you just hit.
Precisely. But if you start to genuinely expect good things, your RAS shifts its filter. It starts to notice the opportunities, the synchronicities, the evidence that things do work out.
Okay, that makes so much sense. It's not that the good stuff wasn't there before.
Your brain just wasn't letting you see it because it didn't fit your internal program, your belief system.
Wow. Mind blown a little bit.
And there's another layer called predictive coding. Your brain isn't just filtering. It's constantly filling in the blanks and predicting what's going to happen next based on all those established patterns, beliefs, and even your current emotional state.
So it's anticipating.
Constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And the insight here is that people who seem lucky, well, their brains are essentially trained to expect positive outcomes.
Trained how?
Through past experiences, yes, but also through conscious focus and emotional conditioning. This training influences how they perceive things and how they behave, like moment to moment. They're primed to anticipate and respond to good stuff.
And doesn't dopamine get involved somewhere in there too?
Yes. Feeling lucky, or even just experiencing unexpected positive things, can trigger dopamine release. And dopamine increases exploratory behavior, makes you more open to novelty, more likely to try things.
So it creates a loop.
Exactly, a positive feedback loop.
Mm-hmm.
Openness leads to noticing opportunities. Noticing opportunities gives you a little dopamine hit, which reinforces being open and makes you feel luckier, which leads to more openness.
And this connects back to Dr. Dispenza's work, right? The idea that you can combine mental rehearsal, really visualizing what you want, with an elevated emotion.
Yes. And through that combination, you can actually create measurable neurological and biological changes. You're not just thinking about being lucky. You're training your whole nervous system, your body, to become someone who expects and embodies positive outcomes, who feels like they're always in the right place at the right time.
Okay, so it's clear our internal state, our brain's programming, these are huge factors. And part of that internal state seems to be about paying attention to, well, subtler stuff, which brings us to intuition, right?
Absolutely. Wiseman studies also showed that his lucky participants tended to trust and act on their gut feelings more often.
Interesting.
And José Silva, who founded the Silva method, took it even further. He basically believed that luck is intuition acted upon.
So luck, intuition plus action.
Pretty much. Silva's insight was that if you train your mind through meditation, visualization, specific techniques, you can access these subtle signals, this inner knowing, that can guide you towards opportunities that other people just completely miss.
So he saw lucky people not as just random winners, but as, like, mentally disciplined, intuitively sharp.
Exactly. People who are tuned in enough to pick up on that guidance and, crucially, act on it.
It's like having a built-in GPS for good fortune.
Kinda. And then you've got Carl Jung's concept, which is fascinating too. Synchronicity.
Ah, yes, meaningful coincidences.
Right. Not just random chance, but coincidences that feel connected by their significance, their meaning to you. Jung suggested that what we often perceive as luck could actually be synchronicity in action.
Like the universe winking at you.
Sort of. Or maybe consciousness itself showing you its underlying patterns and connections in ways that feel beneficial and, well, meaningful.
That's a cool idea. He suggested keeping a journal for that, didn't he?
Yeah, a synchronicity journal, just noting down these meaningful coincidences when they happen. The idea is that noticing and acknowledging them helps you become more aware of them, maybe even amplify them in your experience.
And sometimes, maybe what feels like the complete opposite of luck, like a really frustrating setback, could actually be part of the bigger picture.
That's another perspective, definitely. The idea that what feels like terrible bad luck might actually be something like, well, divine tech support.
Divine tech support. I like that.
Or being rerouted. The insight here is that maybe, just maybe, some setbacks aren't punishments. Maybe they're redirections.
Like if you were heading down a path that ultimately wasn't quite right for you.
Exactly. Maybe those inconvenient, annoying events are the universe kind of stepping in because you weren't listening to the subtler hints to change direction, course correction.
Okay, that idea of redirection, that really hits home for me, especially thinking about those times that feel so incredibly unlucky in the moment, but then turn out completely different.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, I remember this one week a few years back. I was feeling really stuck, you know? Things were fine, but just stagnant.
I know that feeling.
Then, bam, in like 5 days, my car broke down, major hassle. Then my main freelance client suddenly put a big project on indefinite hold, messing up my whole income forecast. And then, the cherry on top, my laptop completely died. Just gone. Lost some important stuff right before a deadline.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That sounds like the definition of a bad luck streak. How did you feel?
Cursed. Honestly, totally cursed. I went straight into that why me spiral, feeling like the universe had it out for me.
I can imagine.
But hitting that rock bottom where I just kind of gave up fighting it, it actually led to this weird sense of calm, like surrender. And from that calm, things started to look different. Clarity started creeping in.
Okay. What did you realize?
Well, that client project getting paused, it forced me finally to reach out to this other contact I'd been procrastinating on. And that led to this amazing new client relationship that's been way more fulfilling and successful than the old one ever was.
No way. Okay.
And the dead laptop, yeah, it sucked, but it forced me to completely overhaul my whole tech setup, get serious about backups, streamline my workflow, stuff I desperately needed to do but just wouldn't have prioritized otherwise.
Making lemonade, huh?
Totally. And the car breaking down, that moment of surrender led me to just walk a different way home that day, walked past this community center, saw a flyer for a free workshop on mindfulness, and that sparked this whole new interest that's been huge for me.
Wow. So the things that felt like blocks, they actually cleared the path.
Exactly. It felt exactly like that divine tech support idea. I was obviously stuck, wasn't changing course on my own, so the universe didn't punish me. It just sent some urgent service interruptions to reroute me.
Spiritual customer service. We see you're trying to reach your destination via a suboptimal route. Please hold while we implement alternative arrangements.
Yes. That's precisely what it felt like in hindsight.
That's such a powerful reframe. It shifts you from being a victim of circumstance to seeing events as potentially serving a bigger purpose, maybe guiding you somewhere better.
Okay, so for someone listening who feels like they're just habitually stuck in that unlucky script, how do you actually break that pattern? How do you debug that core belief, I'm just unlucky?
Yeah, great question. This is where thinking in terms of like a manifestation debug mode can be super useful.
Debug mode.
Think of it like running diagnostics.
Exactly. It's a way to find those hidden blocks, those limiting beliefs that might be like messing with your abundance signal.
Clearing out the static, finding the glitches in your programming, things running in the background you don't even realize are there.
Old beliefs we picked up somewhere.
Right. So let's switch on manifestation debug mode.
Okay. Activating debug mode.
A core bug is usually that really deep-seated belief, I'm just unlucky. Simple as that, but powerful.
And the bug itself isn't necessarily the flat tire or the missed opportunity. It's the feeling attached, right? That emotional echo of bad things always happen to me, or other people are just born lucky, or I'm cursed.
Exactly. It's past frustration just painting the present moment.
Which creates that nasty loop we talked about.
Right. The belief, I'm unlucky, triggers the emotion, frustration, defeat, which then primes your pattern recognition. Your RAS starts filtering for negative proof.
Which leads to confirmation. See, I told you, another setback.
Which just strengthens the original belief. It's like this self-fulfilling prophecy programmed into your system, priming you for disappointment.
Okay, so if that's the loop, how do we break it? What's the reframe? What's the patch for this buggy code?
The reframe, or the patch, is basically this core insight. What if you're not actually unlucky?
Yeah.
At all? What if you're just currently out of tune, or maybe just rehearsing the wrong vibe?
So it's not about fate.
Less about fate, more about frequency.
Yeah.
Your job isn't to fight against some cosmic curse or somehow prove luck exists. Your job is just to change your internal frequency, to open the channel so that the flow of good stuff, fortunate events, can actually reach you.
Okay. That shifts it from feeling powerless to recognizing you have agency. You can calibrate your own reception.
Exactly. Much more empowering.
And thankfully, there are some really practical tools we can use derived from all these ideas to help with that tuning process, right?
Absolutely. We need tools. So from that Debug Mode toolkit, there's something called the Lucky Lens Flip.
Lucky lens flip. I like it.
It's about consciously retraining your brain, your RAS, to notice the small, positive things, like when you catch a green light, find that perfect parking spot right out front, someone gives you a free coffee, or even just you find a clean spoon right when you need one.
The small stuff.
Yes, name it. Out loud or just internally. Ooh, that's lucky. It might feel a bit silly at first, but you're deliberately directing your brain's filter.
You're basically starting a collection of evidence for the positive instead of the negative.
Exactly. Which leads perfectly to the next tool, the Luck Library entry.
Okay.
Start a really simple journal or even just a note on your phone. Every day, write down one unexpected good thing, big or small, that happened.
Just one thing.
Just one to start. Building this evidence file, this library, consistently helps create a new internal algorithm, one that starts to expect support and notice it when it shows up.
I like that. Okay, and what about for those moments when you feel that old, ooh, why me loop starting to kick in?
Yeah, that's crucial. Use an energy pivot phrase. When you feel that downward spiral starting, try consciously reframing the situation with a question. Something like, okay, this feels challenging right now, but what if this is actually part of the plot twist where everything starts working out even better for me?
Ooh, that's good. It's not denying the difficulty.
Not at all. It's not toxic positivity, but it introduces the possibility of a positive outcome, which changes your energetic relationship to the event. It shifts you from tragedy to potential, from victim to maybe protagonist.
Nice. It brings in curiosity, not forced happiness.
Exactly. Another really powerful tool is journaling, but specifically, I'm Lucky Bayhue journaling.
Okay, how's that different from the luck library?
The library is logging events that happen. This is about actively generating reasons why you consider yourself lucky, based on past, present, or even future anticipated things. I'm lucky because I have supportive friends. I'm lucky because I learned a valuable lesson from that mistake. I'm lucky because I know good things are coming.
So you're reinforcing the identity of being lucky.
Precisely.
Yeah.
This taps into that principle sometimes called the law of assumption. You act as if you are already the person who experiences good fortune. The insight here is that by consistently identifying and writing why you are lucky, you create this powerful positive confirmation bias. You start reprogramming your identity from life happens to me to life happens for me.
You could even add a little bonus round at night, maybe. Like, the luckiest thing that happened today was...
Love that. Yeah, turning the search for luck into a daily game.
Which kind of leads to the next one you mentioned, right? The scavenger hunt.
Yes, the Serendipity scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
This is about actively, playfully looking for those small signs and meaningful coincidences throughout your day.
Like what kind of things?
Maybe a song comes on the radio with lyrics that feel like a direct answer to something you were pondering. Or a stranger makes a comment that's perfectly relevant. Maybe you keep seeing a particular number or symbol that feels significant. You bump into someone you were just thinking about.
Little winks from the universe.
Exactly. The insight here is that by deliberately looking for serendipity, you train your awareness to be more open to receiving that magic, those meaningful connections. It's a game to become the person who notices and receives. You can even keep a little serendipity log.
That actually sounds really fun and empowering.
It can be. And finally, there's what we can call emotional frequency training. This is really important. It's not about faking it till you make it or pasting on a smile when you feel awful.
Okay, good. Because that doesn't usually work.
Right. It's about intentionally, deliberately shifting your emotional state, like training a muscle. The insight is that by consciously working with your emotions, You can begin to align your energy output with the frequency you want to attract from.
So how do you do that?
Well, first, you identify your baseline emotion, where you're generally hanging out. Then you choose a slightly higher target feeling. Doesn't have to be ecstatic joy if you're feeling despair. Maybe just
Mm.
curiosity, gratitude for something small, relief, amusement.
Just one step up.
Often, yes.
Mhm.
Then you practice daily reps. This could be micro moves, like a genuine smile for 10 seconds, visualizing a desired outcome and really feeling it in your body. Maybe affirmations in the mirror that actually feel resonant and good, not forced. The key is often just shifting by one emotional rung on the ladder. Moving from despair to anger is actually progress. From worry to hope is huge.
So it's about training your nervous system to expect and embody a different, more resonant emotional home base.
You nailed it. Training your emotional set point.
Wow, okay. We have definitely covered a lot of ground here, exploring how luck might really work, and crucially, some practical ways we might actually be able to influence it. Before we move on, maybe let's do a quick recap. Just pull together the core ideas we've extracted.
Good idea. So we started with that foundational insight from research like Wiseman's. Luck isn't just random external chance. It's heavily influenced by your mindset, what you notice, what you act on.
Right. Then we explored that concept of vibration, where folks like Abraham Hicks suggest luck is really just alignment, your internal state matching what you desire or expect.
Uh-huh. And the neuroscience backs this up,
Yeah.
showing how our brain acts as this prediction and filtering machine, the RAS, predictive coding. The insight being your brain becomes wired for what you repeatedly imagine and expect, especially when you add emotion.
And we can't forget intuition. As José Silva taught, it can be this powerful inner guide. Lucky people are often those who are just mentally disciplined enough to hear it and act on those subtle signals.
Right. And Carl Jung's synchronicity adds another layer, suggesting luck often shows up as those meaningful coincidences, the universe revealing its patterns when you're actually open to seeing them.
So I guess the big takeaway woven through all of this is pretty clear, isn't it? Luck isn't some random force just happening to you.
It seems much more algorithmic, deeply influenced by your focus, your feelings, your beliefs, your openness, your actions. It's like a frequency.
A frequency you can learn to tune into.
Definitely. And to help everyone listening maybe start practicing tuning into that frequency, how about we end with a short guided visualization?
Love it. A chance to just feel that state where good things seem to happen easily, connecting with that feeling of flow, ease, maybe even delight and synchronicity.
Exactly. The purpose isn't to force anything, just to experience the vibration of flow in your body. Let it become a little more familiar. So if it feels safe and comfortable for you to do so right now, just take a moment to get settled where you are. Maybe close your eyes or just soften your gaze downwards.
Take a few deep, easy breaths. Breathing in through your nose and slowly, gently releasing out through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Feel your body settling into your chair or wherever you are. Just allow yourself to be fully present right here, right now.
Now, using your imagination, picture yourself standing at the edge of a beautiful field. The light here is soft, maybe golden. The air feels warm, peaceful, filled with a sense of quiet possibility. Maybe you notice gentle sparks of light like fireflies appearing and disappearing around you with this sense of perfect timing.
And ahead of you in this field, just notice 3 glowing portals gently appearing. Each one pulses with its own unique, inviting light. Perhaps one is a soft, warm gold, another a radiant, calming teal. Maybe the third is a shimmering, vibrant violet. These aren't tests or challenges, they're simply invitations.
Take a moment, without overthinking, just feel. Which portal seems to gently call to you? Which one resonates somewhere in your body, maybe a little pull or warmth? Trust that feeling. And when you're ready, imagine yourself gently stepping through that chosen portal.
As you step through, feel the atmosphere shift subtly around you. You are now in a reality, a dimension, that is perfectly aligned with ease, delight, and synchronicity. Imagine going about your day here, just for a few moments. Maybe you hear your name called just as you were thinking of reaching out to someone. A perfect parking spot opens up right as you pull in. Texts or emails arrive with information at the exact moment you were wondering about it. Things just seem to click into place, effortlessly.
And just notice how your body feels in this state. Are your shoulders relaxed? Is your breathing easy? Is your chest open? Maybe you feel a sense of lightness or curiosity or just a quiet confidence. You trust the timing of things. Your energy feels open, receptive, maybe even a little magnetic.
See effortless interactions happening around you or for you. You're simply in the flow, finding yourself in the right place at the right time without striving. Your only job here is to feel the signal, what feels clear, light, easy, kind, and just allow yourself to follow that flow.
Just bask in this sensation for another few moments. Let the feeling of ease, flow, and fortunate timing really imprint itself on your nervous system. Know that this state, this frequency, is available to you. It's within you.
You might want to repeat softly or just in your mind a simple phrase like, I align with the frequency of flow, or I am open to fortunate surprises, or maybe the universe delights in delighting me. Choose one that resonates.
Take one more deep, centering breath, bringing that feeling of ease with you, and gently begin to bring your awareness back to your physical body, back to the room around you, back to the present moment. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes a little, and when you feel ready, gently open your eyes.
You are tuned in now. See if you can carry even a little bit of that feeling with you into the rest of your day.
So, yeah, the key takeaway from this whole deep dive feels really powerful, doesn't it? Your life isn't necessarily destined to be random or chaotic.
Right. It seems like it's profoundly influenced by our internal state, by the frequency we're holding and broadcasting. Luck isn't just something that happens to us.
It really does seem to be a frequency we can learn to tune into.
And just to reiterate, you are not cursed. You're not inherently unlucky. Maybe you've just been running some old programming, you know?
Or your internal vibe firmware just needed a little update, a little recalibration. Totally doable.
So we really want to encourage you, if this resonated, pick just one of the practical tools we talked about today. Just one. Try it out this week.
Yeah, maybe start that luck library. Or go on a playful serendipity scavenger hunt on your way to work. Just see what you begin to notice when you deliberately shift your focus, even a tiny bit.
And maybe chew on this provocative thought as you go about your day.
What if you aren't just passively waiting for luck to show up and find you?
Yeah.
But what if you are actually the source of it?
Wow.
What if you really are the creator of your reality and the universe is constantly faithfully responding to the vibration and the expectations you're sending out?
What if you're not just hoping for perfect timing? What if you are meant to be the embodiment of perfect timing?
Keep exploring that idea. See what happens when you consciously choose to calibrate your internal state. How does your external experience begin to shift? It's a fascinating experiment.
If that heavy feeling of being unlucky is just a filter you've gotten used to, one that's maybe highlighting all the bumps and blurring out the smooth parts, what unexpected good things, what tiny moments of grace or cool opportunities might you suddenly start noticing, maybe even today, right now?
Just by consciously trying to look through a slightly different lens.
Exactly.
It's definitely a provocative thought, a powerful reframe.
Well, that's definitely something worth sitting with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into luck as a potential internal filter and exploring these really intriguing ideas. We really hope that thinking about the unlucky bug, that feedback loop, and especially those practical debug tools, gives you something concrete to maybe play with in your own life.
Yeah, maybe consider which of those tools, the lens flip, the library entry, the pivot phrase, resonated most. Perhaps just try one out today, see what you notice. And of course, if you found this deep dive helpful, please do share it with others who might appreciate it. And make sure you're subscribed to Vibrations and Manifestations so you catch all our future explorations.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.